Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed up to sedimentation and decantation. Decantation may not separate the liquid portion completely from the solid liquid mixture. From the solid liquid mixture. In that case, when decantation cannot separate the liquid portion completely from solid liquid mixture, we use filtration. We use filtration to separate. Filtration is used to separate the liquid portion completely from solid liquid mixture. Then what is filtration? Filtration is the process of separation of liquid using a strainer. So in filtration, the key thing that it is used is strainer. Strainer is the key thing. Okay, by using strainer, we separate the solid portion from the liquid, or we separate the liquid completely from the solid liquid mixture. So it is better to use filtration method than decantation to separate tea leaves from the prepared tea, because if strainer is not there, after preparing tea, what do? We just decant. We decant the tea, and tea leaves will be sedimented down. But some tea leaves will fall in our decanted tea, right? So instead of decantation, if we do filtration, the tea can be completely getting separated from the tea leaves. Not only that, we are going to use some other things also. We are going to use this filtration method in some other preparations also. Okay. Filtration can be done by using, as I already said, strainer or a piece of fine cloth, because a fine cloth will be having small sized pores in it. So through that pores, the liquid can be easily getting filtered out. Right. Filtration is used in preparing fruit juices, in preparing paneer or cottage cheese, and in preparing tea. So the examples for filtration, where we are going to use filtration, that is preparing fruit juices. Next, preparing paneer. And paneer is also called cottage cheese. Right. And while preparing tea. Okay. So like this, in all these works, we are going to use the filtration method. Right. Now let us learn how do we prepare paneer. How do we prepare paneer? Paneer preparation. Very simple process, right? Maybe your moms might be using already this process. You have to boil the milk and to this boiling milk. To this boiling milk. Few drops of lemon juice has to be added. Lemon juice has to be added. When the few drops of lemon juice is added to boiling milk, a mixture of solid paneer and liquid will be obtained. The result will be mixture of solid paneer, blocks and liquid. So a mixture of solid paneer block and liquid prepared, and this solid paneer can be separated from that liquid by filtration through a fine cloth or a strainer. If you want, you can try it out. So by using a strainer, or fine cloth, we can separate the paneer blocks. So this is how we are going to just prepare our paneer. Next, if a mixture of water and salt or water and sugar is there, then how do you separate the sugar from that water or the salt from that water? To separate a mixture of water and its soluble substance. So, water and soluble substances like salt or water plus sugar is there. Okay. How do you separate them? By evaporation method. So, what is evaporation? The process of conversion of water into its vapor. Conversion of water into its vapor. Is known as evaporation. This is evaporation. Right? Evaporation, it takes place continuously from the surface of water at even room temperature also. It takes place continuously. Evaporation takes place from the surface of water. Like, you take, this is the vessel and water is there here. From where the evaporation takes place? From this point, evaporation takes place. From this point, this is evaporation. This is correct. From this point, evaporation does not take place. If from this point evaporation is taking place, then like bubbles, if water is coming up, that is not called evaporation, but it is called boiling. It is called boiling. What are various uses of evaporation? By using evaporation method, we generally do so many things like separation of salt from water, separation of sugar from water. Separation of salt from water. In which water salt is present more? In seawater. So by evaporation process, salt can be prepared from seawater. Right? So, how do we prepare salt from seawater? So, first of all, seawater is allowed to stand in shallow pits. Like these shallow pits are made, and seawater is allowed. Shallow means not too deep. This seawater is allowed to just stand in shallow pits for few days. Then the water gets heated by sunlight and slowly turns into water vapor through evaporation. Right? So water gets evaporated. In few days, water will get completely evaporated from the pit and salts will be left behind. After few days, what will happen? Only salts will be left behind after few days. And these are not all, this is a mixture of different salts. We need our table salt. Our table salt or common salt. As common salt we can obtain from this by further purification methods. By using any one method of separation, we can separate the individual components from the mixtures in the case of some type of mixtures. Whereas using only one type of separation method, we cannot separate the individual components from certain other types of mixtures. So, more than one method of separation may be used in separating the individual components from such mixtures. For example, separation of sand and salt from their mixture. More than one method of separation. More than one method of separation can be used, may be used, like a separation of sand and salt. Why separation of sand and salt? Because when from seawater we are preparing salt, we get this sand and salt mixture. Sand and salt mixture. So we need to separate it. How can we separate it? First, we have to add water to this mixture so that salt is soluble in water. So the salt will dissolve in water. Add water. Then salt dissolves. right? And sand settles and settles down. So this is sedimentation. So here, what is the method that it is used? Sedimentation. Now, sand can be separated by decantation or filtration. Means the above liquid that has dissolved salt in it can be separated from sand, or sand can be separated from the liquid that has dissolved salt in it by decantation or filtration, right? So, three methods of separation we have used so far: sedimentation or decantation and even filtration. Both also we can use, right? Now, the decanted liquid or filtered liquid, it contains salt and water in it. Now we have to separate water from salt. How can we separate water from salt? By evaporation. Next, evaporation. If we have to allow the water to get evaporated naturally, it takes lot of time. So, we have to heat that liquid. By keeping it in a closed kettle which has a spout on it. So, we have to keep that liquid in a closed kettle that has spout on it. This is spout. So this is spout. When we heat it what will happen? Steam will come out. At this area, if we keep a metal plate with some ice on it, the steam that comes out will be getting exposed to this colder temperature, and it will be falling like a water drops, right? So if the metal plate is held above the spout of the kettle and let all the water boiled off, the steam that comes out through the kettle spout forms liquid water when the steam comes in contact with the metal plate that has ice on it. Okay. Now it has fallen down. This is called condensation. It's called condensation. Right? So what is condensation? The process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid. Conversion of water vapor into liquid form. Right. When the water vapor is coming in contact with lower temperature than its existing temperature, that is condensation. So after all the water has evaporated, the salt will be left behind in the kettle. After all the water has evaporated, the salt will be left behind in the kettle. Like this, we can separate the sand and salt mixture. Okay, first by adding water, sand is settling down, salt is dissolved. Okay, the water that has got dissolved salt in it will be separated from the sand by decantation and filtration or filtration methods. Then by keeping this liquid in a kettle with spout, we are boiling it. Then entire steam will go off, water will be getting boiled, and as we are collecting the steam with a metal plate that has ice on it, the water will be getting condensed, right, like this. Finally, we are left with salt in the kettle, right. If so, now coming to see, water can dissolve only a limited quantity of any soluble substance. It can dissolve salt up to some extent or sugar up to some extent. If a particular volume of water has already dissolved a particular quantity of soluble substance in it and it cannot dissolve any more substance in it, then such solution is called saturated solution, because a solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in liquid. Now water is liquid, in that you have dissolved some soluble substance. Already soluble substance has reached its maximum level in the water and no more soluble substance can be dissolved in it. Such a solution is called saturated solution. And once the saturated solution is already formed, still you can dissolve some more substance in it by heating that solution. Already saturated solution is there. If you are adding salt or sugar in it, it will be sedimenting down because it cannot dissolve anymore. But if you keep heating it, again it will be getting dissolved. The extra saturated solution can dissolve some more salt or sugar by heating that one, right? But after cooling, the extra added salt or sugar will settle at the bottom. And water dissolve unequal amounts of soluble substances in it. So 1 liter of water can dissolve, for example, 500 grams of sugar. It cannot dissolve same 500 grams of salt. Its solubility levels will be differing, right? Okay. Sugar generally can be dissolved more quantity in water, whereas salt can be dissolved less in quantity. So water dissolve unequal amounts of soluble substances in it. Water dissolve more sugar than salt in it. And how a solution is prepared? By dissolving a soluble substance in a liquid. By dissolving a soluble substance in a liquid, we can prepare solution.